Hello everybody, Patrick Glenn Nichols, Muscle Car Barn Finds, and today I've made my way down here to just outside of Orlando, Florida at Past and Present Motor Cars, and there happens to be a really nice 70 Chevelle here for sale today. Turns out to be really ironclad, authentic as far as the stamps, an L34 Baltimore built, fourth week of March 1970 Chevelle. But I believe it not long ago this car was showing up as a survivor. It's had a little bit of a facelift, new paint, new top, new glass, some new interior. It shows up well, but the rest of the car, especially underneath and the engine, the trans, and the rear axle, is all 100% authentic, numbers matching car with the build sheet. So I'll go around this car the best I can, and I'll even try to raise it on the lift like we do sometimes, and maybe show you some stamps underneath if you can bear with me with the car raising up. So right off the bat, you can see the car was born triple black with a standard no cowl induction, standard super sport hood, L34. The original bumper is still here and in place with the car, and quite a few other items are in place as well. So we'll start in under the hood, and of course you see some of the normal day two options: the Performer RPM manifold, the radiator has been replaced, we have a replacement water pump, but the really nice set of flash chrome original valve covers. And if that's not an indication of the life this car lived, then nothing is, because I can tell you these valve covers almost never are quite this nice. So that shows that it's lived in a nice climate the majority of its life to retain the original valve covers and then be in that type of condition. It is a Baltimore car, so you see the plastic inner fenders that are here. They have been replaced. These are not the authentic, the ones that have the left hand and the right hand molded into the plastic. They are no longer here, but this is the early style Super Sport dome standard hood still resides with the car, and the car has never been drilled for hood pins, which is also correct. You see the 1557 square cut washer jar, which we normally talk about. The CTX engine, which I won't be able to focus on here because the alternator is back in place, but I do have great photos of that. It's built March the 20th, CTX, with a really nice, sharp looking Baltimore, authentic Baltimore VIN sequence stamp. You see the relay on the wiring gutter is off to the side, which is definitely an indication of a Baltimore built 70 Chevelle. See if we can get a little focus of the windshield washer motor. We got the 78th day of 70, first assembly plant, first shift. And both the power brake booster has been changed, but the BB master still resides with the car, but you can barely see the BBs. Really nice, clean exhaust manifold also still reside with this car as well, the 178 and the 879. Car was born with a KY hose with a 3-row radiator, 4-speed. So there will be no provisions in the firewall, and that also lines up with this car because it's not a U14 car, and it's not a cowl induction car, and it's also not an automatic. It's a 4-speed car, so no provisions other than the cruise control and the accelerator cable. You can see the very common incorrect cowl grills are in place, which I would just simply pop them out if I was to own this car. I can tell you, I like this car. I would possibly personally like to own. It's a really nice car. A lot of the car is original. It has had some patch panels in the quarter panels. Aside from that, everything else shows up well, and the paint and body is really, really nice. All 4 wheels that are showing are reproduction, and the spare tire that's in the car is the original spare tire. We have an incorrect mirror on both sides, which you can see. Car has new glass, soft ray glass, which was also part of the facelift that it received. An original dash, which still resides in the car, still here, which I love that. And then the reverse lockout mechanism is still working with this car as well. So that tachometer and that water temperature gauge, that will turn and spin when you shift the car, which is correct because the steering column does spin when it is operating correctly. So let's look a little bit at this build sheet. It is laminated, so we do have a little bit of a glare. You can see the 0324, the 13637, the 19 Tuxedo black, the B for black vinyl top, F41 suspension, posi traction, and this car did come with the upgraded M21 close ratio 4-speed, which is really neat. Customer order, so pretty much a bare bones L34, really cool, triple black L34 70 Chevelle. So before we move forward, let's go back and let me focus on this cow tag before I forget that part, which I always do that with all of my documentation. So the 70 for 1970, 13637, we all know, two-door hardtop, sport coupe. The B084844 is the body number, but that is not the body number. The body number on the build sheet, which I'll show you in a second, that is in box 24 of the build sheet. That's technically not the body number. Again, we've been over that quite a few times on a Baltimore car. And then the 19 and the B for black vinyl top, 03D for the 4th week of March. This was the car was very close to the break between a March and an April VIN. The car actually, the VIN shows up to be a early April produced car. So this is right on the break between a March and an April car. We have a Fisher body date of 03D, but a VIN of a super early April car. We've been over this before. You can see that the seams are in the wrong place on the vinyl roof, which was replaced. I would have liked to have seen this car before the facelift. Of course, not everybody's the same, but I personally would have liked to have seen it with the flaws than maybe with the facelift, but everybody's different. And in the car world, most buyers, they prefer a car that has fresh paint and a nice top and interior, so you can't really blame somebody for the facelift. Some shots of the rear of the car. Like I said, bear with me. I'm out here by this highway out in Ocoee, Florida, where Past and Present is located, doing a independent inspection on this car, and then the person will make a decision whether he makes a purchase on this car or not. But I do like this car. We definitely have numbers matching, engine, trans, and rear, and the spare tire is also correct. I would show you some in the trunk, but it's a nice looking area in the trunk. We're gonna go up with this one, and I will spend some time showing you the transmission and rear axle and underneath, because I'm under the impression that this car lived most of its life out west, which I can see that by the way the underneath, the frame and the body looks. It looks to be very dry and a nice solid car. So I'll make my way around here now, and we will slowly but surely try to lift this car, and then we'll do a little bit under the bottom of the undercarriage and then go from there. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. We'll do a little bit underneath and show you how clean this car is. You see the F41 front sway bar, 700 and 701. Front brake calipers still with the car as well. Nice, clean looking frame. An 854 original 396 2-bolt 402, still with the car, dated February of 70, cast dated and built March the 20th. Once again, no power steering car, original, still with the car, never been off. And we'll go down this way and I'll show you some shots of this authentic M21 if I can focus right here. There you go. So we got P for Muncie, 070C, 05, so March the 5th. And then B for M21, and that is a really nice, authentic Baltimore, Maryland VIN sequence stamp on this authentic Muncie transmission with a 661 case. You can see the plugs are correct, and then the WL on this side, which most people understand. The WO is the M22, and this will be the M21. Go down this side, you can see how nice the frame is and the body underneath and dry. The dual fuel line for the L34. Original still in place. All of the F41 is still here. And then I'll show you the original stamp to the rear axle if I can focus here. Not always that clear, but it's CCF 0323B1. But those photos will be on my social media pages. You can see the 278 casting. And move around to the back here. You can see the B28, I believe, 70. So really, really cool. Okay, so let's see if I can give a focus now of the 00 on or 00 on the original springs right there. The springs are still there. So the original F41 springs are still there. So as we go down this side one more time and show you how clean this car is. A lot of the head markings on the bolts are still correct. The M21 is just beautiful. 331 posi traction, real deal, 12-bolt, 331, CCF. Gas tank's never been out of the car. Gas tank has never been out of this car, as you can see. Really neat car here. Nice car, but they've all had some changes and some not, but this definitely is a numbers matching front to rear driveline and build sheet 70 Chevelle SS396. Shows up well, triple black. Again, I'm out here in Ocoee, Florida. At Past and Present Motor Cars, I was hired by a client to come out here and inspect this car for a possible purchase. And that's what I have completed here. Whether the car is purchased or not, that has nothing to do with me at this point. I don't really make any of those decisions whatsoever. I just authenticate the car and make sure that the car is represented correctly and there's not any super red flags that the buyer may not have been aware of, but this car is showing up really, really well. Okay, again, I'm Patrick Glenn Nichols, Muscle Car Barn Finds. I really appreciate all of your participation on my channel. If you have a 1970 Chevelle that you would like authenticated and like the exposure and like video exposure, I do create permanent records with these videos and they cannot be altered once they're published. you see what you get. So I'm, like I said before, I'm not a report kind of guy. Reports get lost, and who knows whatever else could happen to one, lost or altered or whatever. I am the video guy. That's just my idea, and I do believe it's very authentic to what the car hobby and the 70s Chevelle hobby is needing, because it's definitely working, and a lot of people are coming on board and are very interested in my endorsement. So if you need to contact me, pnichols26 at Yahoo, or Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks a lot. More videos on the way.